Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. How are you all? Hope all of you are in good health and enjoying your online classes. Welcome students to the Classic School System online classes. Today our lecture will be on your readers reading in order to develop your reading skills and vocabulary. So students, hold your books. As you know that today's story is about the adventure of Sherlock Holmes, the Dancing Man, Part 4, the final part. In this part, we are going to know about the conclusion, the main thing about certain things that come in your mind and mine as well. Before we moving forward, there are some certain questions that we are going to discuss, and I am sure that also in your minds as well, that who had killed Mr. Cubitt? What were the messages in the drawings? Why did Mrs. Cubitt hide everything from her husband? Did Mrs. Cubitt involved in the murder? Let's get to know that. In this very part, we are knowing about the truth, the conclusion. So students, hold your book at page number 18 from The Strange Puzzle is Solved. Then Holmes spoke to the servant. He told them that if anyone came and asked for Mrs. Hilton Cubitt, they should say nothing about her. What is going on in his mind? Why he denied to give any information about Mrs. Cubitt? Let's get to know that. Next, Holmes, myself and the inspector went into another room to wait. The doctor had left, so there were only the three of us. Watson, inspector and Holmes himself. Now I shall explain to you the puzzle of the dancing man. It means that Holmes comes to know about the meaning of these drawings. As you can see in this picture, each figure tells about different alphabets. In this way, he comes to know that. Said Holmes, as you know, Watson, I have studied secret writing for many years, but this was quite new to me. The person who drew these pictures wanted people to think that they were just child's drawing it. It's mean that the person doesn't want anyone to know about the secret meaning behind it. I knew they must really be messages, but what did they know? What did they mean? The first message was very short, but I was sure that this figure mean E, the hands of figure. You see, E is the most often used letter in written English. Even in a short sentence, it is used many times. In the first message, the figure E, as you can see, is used 4 times, so I was sure this must be E. Some of the figures are holding flags. I guess that they were used to divide the message into words. Then came the most difficult part. What were the other letters? The second time that Mr. Cubitt came to see me, he brought 2 more sentences and a very short message. I thought the message must be one word because there was no flag. In this word, I have got the ES coming second and fourth in a word of 5 letters. Dash E dash E dash. It might be severe or level or never. If it was never, then this was probably Mrs. Cubitt's reply to the sentences that have been written by the stranger. If I am right, we can now say that the figures, the 3 figures over here, must be N, V and R. Now I was able to discover what some of the other letters meant. If the writer once knew Mrs. Elsie Cubitt, Mrs. Cubitt, he would probably use her name somewhere in the message. All I had to do was to find 5 figures with an E as the first and the last. E dash 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 E. I found that at the end of one message, so I soon found my L, S and I. Before it, Something was repeated 3 times. What was someone asking Elsie to do? There were only 4 letters in the word before Elsie. It ended in E. Was it come? COME? Question mark. I thought it was, and so this gave me CONM. Then I went back to the first message. I broke it up into words and put it all the letters I had found. It looked like this: dash ME dash ERE dash dash ESL dash NE dash. There is only one word in English that has 2 letters and ends in M. It is am. So the first letter must be A. This is used 2 more times. I was sure the second word was here, beginning with H. Now the message becomes I'm here, A-E-SLANEY. The 2 words after am here must be a name. Quite intelligent. How easily he can get that. There are not many names that have 3 letters beginning with A and ending in E. A, Abby, and it can also be called A. Short for Abraham seemed possible. Quite a lot of American men have the same name, Abby. The best letter to put at the end of the second name is Y, making it Slaney. I am here, Abby Slaney. Abby Slaney is the name. Now I had enough letters to look at the second message I could guess that T must be the first letter and G the second. And so, at Elridge's, that I thought must tell us where man is staying. Where did you do then? What did you do then? Asked the inspector. The most dangerous man in Chicago. I was sure the man we wanted was probably an American called Abby Slaney. Holmes continued. Abby is an American name and the letter Mrs. Cubitt received came from America. Mrs. Cubitt did not want her husband to ask about her past life. So I was also sure there had been some trouble with the police. I sent a telegram to my friend Wilson Hargrave of the New York police. I asked him if he knew about anyone with the name of Abby Slaney. Here is his reply. He is the most dangerous man in Chicago. The same evening that I received the news from New York, Mr. Cubitt sent me the last message from Slaney. Using the letter I knew. The message became Elsie-RE-ARE to meet thy G-O-D. It was not difficult to fill in the other letters and to read. Elsie prepared to meet thy God. Thy mean your God. It was not difficult to fill in the other letters and to read. Elsie prepared to meet thy God. Those letters are only used when someone is going to die. Then I knew that Dr. Watson and I must come to Norfolk as quickly as we could. But we arrived too late. Mr. Holmes, this man Slaney is very dangerous. We will try to run away or go back to America. We must stop him. I don't think he will run away, Inspector. But why do you say that? Because I sent him a message and asked him to come here. Why? Yes, look, I think that is him arriving now. Now, girls, let's move forward. You need to think, who will it be? Now, students, move to the next page, page number 21. Slaney is caught. A man was walking towards the house. He was tall and good-looking with a hat and a black coat. That is his appearance, in a black coat. He knocked at the door. Police Inspector Martin and Dr. Watson stand behind the door. The man is dangerous. Take your handcuffs, Inspector. I will speak to him. He waited quietly for 1 minute, a minute which I will never forget. Then the door opened and the man walked in. Quickly, Holmes held the gun to his head Martin put the handcuffs on him. It happened so quickly that the man could do anything. He looked from one of us to the other, then he laughed. What is this? I came here because Mrs. Hilton Cubitt sent me a letter. Next page. Mrs. Cubitt had been shot and is nearly dead. The man gave a cry. No, no, it can't be true. It was Mr. Cubitt that was shot, not her. I never shot her. I would never hurt her. I love her. Tell me it is not true. She was found nearly dead, laying next to her husband. I know she loves me. Now he is going to tell his story from his side, the truth. The man sat down on a chair and put his hands over his face. For 5 minutes he did not say anything. Then he lifted his head and spoke. I will tell you the truth. Yes, I fired my gun at him and he fired his gun at me. But I never wanted to hurt the woman that I love. No one loves that woman more than me. She is mine. Years ago she said she would marry me. Who was the Englishman who took her from me? Englishman? Mr. Cubitt. Why didn't she want to marry me? She ran away from you because she found out who you are, said Holmes angrily. She ran away from America to forget you, and she married a kind Englishman who loved her, who followed her and made her unhappy, trying to make her come back to you. Now you have killed her husband, and she has tried to kill herself. You will pay for this, Mr. Abby Slaney. Students mean that the third shot that is shot by Mrs. Cubitt, and in despair she shot herself. If Elsie dies, I don't care what they do with me, said the American. He opened one of his hands and a piece of paper fall to the floor. You see, he said, I know she loves me. She sent this letter to me asking me to come here. No, it was I who wrote you that letter, said Holmes. You, but no one else know the secret of the dancing man. Holmes smiled. Tell us what really happened, Mr. Slaney. At the office window. Well, I have known this lady since she was a child. I worked for Elsie's father. He was a clever but wicked man, the crime boss of Chicago. The idea of the dancing man for writing secret messages was his. It means that this writing has been used for as a goal. Well, Elsie wanted very much to get away from me and her husband. She said she would marry me if I changed my word, but I could not. So she came to England, met this Englishman and married him. I wrote many letters to her, but she did not reply. That's why I came over here and put my messages where she could see them. I have been here for a month now. I lived in that little farm and I came here at night to leave messages for Elsie. I know that she read them because one day she wrote an answer under one of them. Then I got angry with her. I said I wanted to kill her. She did not want her husband to know about us. She sent me a letter. She told me to wait outside the office window at 3 o'clock in the morning. Her husband would be sleeping there. She came down and brought money with her. I was angry and I put my hand through the window and pulled her towards me. Then her husband came into the room with his gun in his hand. I was frightened. He fired his gun but he did not get me. I fired my gun at the same time and he fell down. Here Mr. Cubitt died because the gun he shot him through the heart. I ran away across the garden and as I ran I heard the window shut behind me and another shot. And that shot by Mrs. Cubitt to herself. That's the truth. I did not know anything else about it until the boy came up to the farm and gave me the message. Holmes' message. Just as he finished talking, Abby Slaney, 2 more policemen arrived. Page number 24. It's time to go, Mr. Slaney. Can I see her first? No, she cannot talk yet. We watched the policeman take him away. As I turned away from the window, I saw the piece of paper which had dropped from Slaney's hand. It was a message Holmes had sent him. Can you read it, Watson? Said Holmes with a smile. I looked at it. It was the dancing man again. It means that Holmes sent him a letter in the same secret language to Abby Slaney. Can you remember that the man need, if you remember what I told you? You see, we'll see it comes first. It means that come here at once. I knew Slaney would think Mrs. Cubitt sent the message. And so, my dear Watson, we have used the dancing man for good. Our train is at 3:30. We should be back in Baker Street in time for dinner. The American Abby Slaney was sent to jail for life. I read that Mrs. Hilton Cubitt is better again and that now she lives alone on her husband's farm helping poor people that live nearby. Quite interesting. Holmes is quite witty and he proved it by solving this tricky riddle. So students, I hope you understand the story very well in a very good way and you can now solve the comprehension given the given worksheet properly. Soon we will come with a new story that will be very interesting. Till then, Allah Hafiz. See you soon. Bye bye.